Happy Halloween. Well, that was officially yesterday, but happy Halloween, everybody. This is Friday. Have you got that Friday feeling, your wish fulfilled Friday? The section of my channel that's dedicated to all of your incredible success stories, your manifestations. Some of you are still on the journey, but wanted to share your success anyway. Some of you are at the end of it. Some of you manifested these incredible successes before you even consciously knew about the law. And some of you have got it through just simply watching my videos or coaching with me. Whatever it is, I want to hear from all of you, because all of you matter, all of you are important, and all of your successes are valid. And as I say, I'm trying to encourage all of you to share your success stories, or at least pay attention to them, because there is a pattern that's unfolding in all of them. You will see, no matter what technique you might use, no matter what your circumstances, see how many different ways the bridges unfold. See what the mindset is like. See what the common factor is that everyone says how they felt, what they did for the time in between. It's really worth looking into. Look at your own success story now and reflect upon that so you can apply it to your own journey. Now, all of my success stories that I receive from all of you incredible, talented people, I post on my website. The links are in the description box down below for my website, for our Discord community. Joseph's just created an amazing, I don't know how he does this. He's created an amazing Neville Goddard bot in there as well, which is so, so good. So when you come onto the Discord, not only can you speak to myself or Joseph or the wonderful, talented people on there, but also Neville Goddard himself is on there too, taking part and answering all your questions incredibly accurately as well. I was asking all kinds of stupid things because you just have to. Like how to manifest an apple pie. I was craving apple pie, you know, it's the autumn feel, right? We've got that autumn vibe. So I hope that you guys are getting cozy, because maybe you're going through a tough time at the moment and you just want to hang out, you just want to chill, you don't want to have to worry about your manifestations right now. Maybe you're looking for a new method because you're feeling tired with the ones you're currently using. One thing I haven't really thought about is how creative we can be with this, how fun we can make this. I think we get bogged down with the seriousness of it, the am I doing it right, aren't I, which technique is the best. And the person who shared their success story with me, sweet Bella, if you're watching this, I've never met her, you know, we've never officially worked together, but she emailed me wanting to share this beautiful success story. And the method that she used was really quite interesting, something I hadn't really thought of, but I thought was a really beautiful idea. And it reminded me of my recent manifestation as well, which I did, which I had a mole on my chest. And although my method was a little bit different to what she did, do any of you remember, I think it was a Neville Goddard lecture where he was sharing a testimonial about this mother who was saying that her child was covered in these, it was either moles or warts or whatever it was. And she said to the child, these do not belong to you. How about I give you, you know, I don't know how much it was, a cent or a penny or whatever for each one. And you can, you know, give it to me, like hand it over sort of thing. And they manifested these moles or warts gone. For fun, I had this mole on my chest that just seemed to be getting bigger, went to the doctors. They didn't want to do anything about it because we're in the UK, NHS, unless it's something dodgy, cancerous or whatever, they're not going to pay attention to it. They just said to me, oh, it's a whatever name they gave it, and yes, these get bigger. And I was just like, yeah, this is kind of uncomfortable. If you look at my other videos, you will see this mole was very present. And I imagined in the shower, because you all know that's where I like to imagine, I imagined that it was gone. I imagined similarly that I was taking it off and I was just handing it over to whoever. I was just like, take it off, and I'm just like throwing it away, essentially. Let me discard it. I kid you not. And I didn't want to post the pictures because it's kind of gross, but it started to change. I got a little bit worried. I thought, is something wrong here? You know, it was a bit kind of like it was bleeding. It was kind of popping out a bit. I was like, it looks like it's going to just kind of come off. And it came off. So if those of you have seen my videos before, you will notice that I had this sort of mole. Now it's like, yeah, if this camera shows it very well, it's like there's nothing there. It's like that it was never, ever there. It was the weirdest thing. See, sometimes I just do these manifestations for fun. That's what I'm saying to you guys as well. If you want to see the picture of what it looked like, I could put it in the community post, but it's kind of gross. But literally, it was just like shrinking, coming out, and then came off. The weird, like the strangest thing, it was not how I expected it. I literally thought I was going to have to try and find somewhere, because the NHS weren't going to remove it, and I thought maybe I'll have to try and find somewhere to remove it. Well, didn't have to, actually. That wasn't my bridge of events. So anything that you desire, you can have. And it's about stepping into the state of the version of you that already has that outcome. So that's just a little fun manifestation. By the way, what do you guys think? It's a Halloween period. So what do you think of my Halloween themed scarf? Any of you Disney fans? So calling out my Disney fans. So I'm just picking up my old phone. Like I say, all of your incredible success stories will be posted on my website. Share them with me. We can't get enough of your incredible successes. Now, this beautiful angel, you might be intrigued by her methods, and I'm going to play around with it as well. Sounds like a lot of fun, you know. We are too busy shouting at and coercively, or trying to coerce and control our unconscious mind by battering affirmations at it or forcing imaginal acts upon it. A lot of this has become like force. This I thought was quite nice. Maybe you'll feel least resistance if we're a bit more playful and we make up some new techniques and methods to manifest. So let me read out her story. Grab yourself a hot drink, sit back and relax. You're in good hands. And it starts off with, "Good afternoon, Athena. Sure, I'm happy to tell you in detail about my daughter's healing manifestation because I'm still using the same technique with her to this day. I'm using it as well with my ex, his dad, since the day he told me about a medical diagnosis for which he is forced to pass through chemotherapy process. So since I was pregnant, I was telling my daughter's dad how much I wished she would be born, I suppose, with his perfect teeth, his perfect sight, because I had to wear braces during my teens and glasses since I was a kid, among other medical conditions like curvature of the spine. I didn't know anything about manifesting at the time, but now I see that I was basically wishing out of fear, and I had a really low self-concept. The only thing that I would want that she got out of me was my eyes, not my sight, obviously. And the thing she physically got out of me, and we could already see from the ultrasound, was the part of me that I hate most. But of course, she is the most beautiful girl in the world. Well, I tell you this to show how instead of imagining the most healthy baby, I was fearing what I don't want. So this is an important example, guys. A lot of us are too focused on the things that we don't want and affirming and imagining against the things that we don't want, rather than focusing on the things that you do want. So she picked up on what she was doing there. She said, my daughter was born with congenital cataracts. We didn't know it on the spot, so she wasn't operated on until she was 3 years old. I know where this manifestation came from beside my fears during pregnancy, but that's another long story. She also had other medical conditions, but the topic of this manifestation is called basal cell carcinoma. It's something that starts as a simple pimple, but then it turns gray and black and it grows and it needs to be removed with surgery. She had her first basal cell carcinoma removed with, I think it was 2 years old, on the temple, and on her second one with 4 to 5 years old on the arm. You see, I'm not the kind of mum who remembers surgery dates. When the doctor analyzed her last carcinoma, he said she is just prone to having them. The latest surgery stitches were a slaughter. So when early this year we had confirmed that she had carcinoma, again, this time near the cheek, I got really worried. It's a major surgery, and obviously no mum wants their kid to go through any kind of surgery. But I was really worried about the scar that she would get on her face. However, because the first one is hardly visible, but the one on the arm, it's awful. Her face forever because okay, sorry, I think English might not be her first language, so bear with me. So when we were in the medical specialist waiting room, I did my first visualization. The doctors were telling us at the point it was something really minor that he could remove on the spot with some sort of non-invasive technique. So what happened? The doctor told us that she needed surgery and that due to her already being old enough, she is 10, They would make it with a local anesthesia, so she would be awake, and probably us, me and her dad, couldn't get into the operating room with her. You can imagine my concern and how sad my kid was with the news. She said she didn't want to see the doctors while she was being operated on. Of course, she's a kid. So she was put on the waiting list for the surgery, and in the meanwhile, the doctor prescribed us a medical cream because the carcinoma seemed to have a slight infection. I don't remember this being prescribed to us the previous times when the carcinomas had a grey colour. But I started to use the cream. And at that time, I was reading, I think it was the Silver Method. And I might do a video about the Silver Method, actually, for those of you who are interested. There was a story of a nurse who would whisper things in the ears of patients during the anesthesia stage and order their bodies not to bleed too much during surgery, something like that. So at night, when my kid was sleeping, I would whisper in her ear, "Your body is absolutely healthy. Your eyes, your sight, your skin for the carcinoma, your immune system, she has allergies, everything. I love you, you are perfect." And then I would pass my finger over the carcinoma and swipe it with the finger out of her face and see her cheek clean. What an amazing imaginal act. That's giving me goosebumps. Sooner than I thought, we were called for the surgery. And like it was really fast for a typical waiting list, and they called us less than a week before the surgery date. There I reacted. I freaked out. I was worried. And I've lost myself. Oh my goodness, I lost myself. Where is it? I was worried, especially for the part where she would be awake and we couldn't be with her. Some days before the surgery, I tried to distract myself by creating something for my SP on the computer. It was a digital drawing I did with my graphic tablet. I sent him the drawing telling him that I had done it because my daughter was going to be operated on and I needed to have my mind focused on other things. He quickly answered me. It was early in the morning with a voice message. He thanked me for the design. He is using it as a profile picture on a personal app, and he went straight to ask me what was happening with my daughter. He was so sweet. He was reassuring me and telling me that everything was going to be fine, and he wished the best for my little one. The day of the surgery arrived. Both me and my daughter had been really nervous and planned to ask once more. At least one of the parents could pass with her to the operating room. Of course, she wanted both of us to pass with her. At this point, the carcinoma was barely visible and wasn't infected anymore, thanks to the cream. So we were at the pre-operatory room, me, my daughter, and her dad. She was already wearing those green surgery clothes and had asked the nurse if any of us could pass with her, and she had gone to the doctor so that we were waiting for an answer. The doctor comes, looks at the kid, revises the carcinoma, and she's really surprised that the kid is there for surgery. She literally told us, "It'll be a bigger scar that I'm going to make her than the carcinoma itself. I wouldn't remove it. I would check it in some months, but that's on you to decide." Her dad and I were shocked. How come her colleague told us that she needed to have the surgery and now you tell us this? Of course, the carcinoma looked so much better at that moment when it did so much better than what it did when her colleague told us about the surgery. But this didn't happen with any of the other two previous carcinomas. So me and my ex talk with my kid, and you won't believe it. She wanted to have the surgery done. Now I'm laughing, and I found it funny because at that moment it was hard to convince her. Her argument was that after the bad time she had passed, assuming she was going to have the surgery, she wasn't going back home like that. I told her, "Mum has a post-surgery present for you, and you're going to get it anyway." And without having a bad time in the operating room. We spent a while to convince her, but we finally got her to go back home without the surgery. She had her revision this September, and the thing is now almost just an invisible stain on her face, so the doctor discharged her. Now I still whisper some nights in her ear, Not that much, because she sometimes wakes up when she hears me if she's still in the light stage of sleep. I kid you not, that even one day I fell asleep before she did at night, or in a nap or something, and I heard her whispering healing words in my ear. When his father told me that he would have to go through chemo before he could call me to tell me what happened, and explain the whole situation, I burst into tears. When I pulled myself together, I decided that he is healthy and that it was some kind of mistake. And when he finally called me and he told me about the diagnosis, he told me something that has 99% of healing with the chemotherapy, so that's already better news. And there's still some nights that I imagine him sleeping and I whisper in his ears the healing words, as I do with my daughter. It sounds weird, but I think it works because it's something I do without effort and I don't look for results. In fact, you can see I freaked out knowing about my daughter's surgery. Well, I know this has been really long, but I really needed to explain every detail. Oh, and today I had a really sobbing morning, not because I lack my manifestation, but because I don't like and I don't feel comfortable in my current 3D. So after sobbing and scripting from the past on a park, I came back home and I did your I am hypnosis, and oh girl, I know I'm still going to get triggered by my 3D, but doing your hypnosis was such a release. So thank you for that. Thank you, my darling. I'm really glad to hear that. That I am hypnosis actually just reduces and takes away all of the labels of self-concept that we attach to ourselves, and allows you to just go to that base state of I am, in which case you can shape and mold your self-concept to whatever it is that you wish to be. But what a beautiful story, right? That's why it reminded me with the mole thing as well. Maybe I got inspired by that as well too, as well as Neville's lecture. But you see, be creative with your desires. You know, we don't want to stay in lack and wanting and be so serious with it, where we're making a regime. People often ask me, like my clients are often asking me for some sort of routine, some sort of structure. Can I wake up in the morning and do a headstand while, you know, saying a bunch of words? Shall I go for a run and visualize? And then at, you know, 3 o'clock, maybe I'll eat my dinner with a few post-it notes around me to remind me of my desire. Like, really, I always say, try not to have a routine and a structure to your day like that is based on manifesting your desire, because then you're going to get stuck in a situation where you're trying to manifest rather than just being playful with it. We are told to be brazen. We are told to be like little children, because little children do not worry about what is possible and what isn't possible for them. They're not worried about the fact that I really want that shiny bike, but I'm not going to ask for it because I don't have a job. You know, I'm too young and my parents are going to say no, and I've never had a bike before. They don't care. They will ask for that bike. They will see themselves riding that bike. They will be excited about that bike before it's even in their reality. They will play with the imaginary bike as well if necessary, right? So they don't care about all of that. And that's what we're asked to do on this journey. We're asked to just be brazen, to just ask, to just occupy that state. And that's what she did. She's imagined, she's envisaged her daughter well and healthy. She realized when she was focusing on everything that she didn't want, she was manifesting more of that. That's a big trap that I notice with a lot of my clients. Too busy looking at the things that we don't want, keeping us stuck, keeping us disconnected from our desire, causing you more stress and anxiety. Be playful with it. Decide what it is that you do want. Envisage it for yourself. Try whispering if it's for someone that you're wanting them to heal, or maybe you're imagining these whispers in your mind to yourself, like you're being given this lullaby as you fall asleep. Maybe that's what you're imagining, that you can hear these statements, or you can hear yourself saying these statements, lulling you into that peaceful, safe space. There is nothing out of your reach. So if this was helpful, guys, please do like, subscribe if you want. You know, if you want to get success, if you want to really learn about the law, because I'm really taking this to a next level now. It's seemingly quite advanced, I suppose, the stuff that I'm teaching in some ways. So if you're serious about getting results, stay with this channel, stay with us. And it's been lovely to spend this time with you. Go and enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video.